Some comics go the route of, I'm going to just say F Trump all the time, or that's their comedy. And I think, well, now a little bit you're being co-opted because you're so angry. You've been lulled. It's like a siren leading you into the rocks. You've been lulled into just saying F Trump, F Trump, F Trump. Screw this guy. You've now put down your best weapon, which is being funny, and you've exchanged it for anger.
We finally have a legend. We finally have someone who paved the way for the trio of huge embarrassing failures in late night television, and he is saying the exact same thing that Uncle Casey has been telling you guys for years. Late night TV is going the way of the dodo bird because late night television is dying. Yesterday morning, I guess I was looking to sedate myself because I decided to watch First Take on ESPN, a show that used to be entertaining, but it has become painfully boring because it is nothing but grown men stroking the ego of Stephen A. Smith and agreeing with damn near everything that he says. But I will say this. The new host Stephen A. has hired for First Take, I believe her name is Shay, not to be confused with Shannon Sharp, who is a fully grown man who weirdly refers to himself as Shay Shay. Hey, it's me, Shay Shay! The new host they have on First Take, she is excellent. She is a hell of a lot better than Molly Karam. But anyway, they were reacting to Michael Jordan's recent sit-down with Mike Tirico on NBC, and they were talking about this modern generation of NBA players not having enough respect for those who came before him, not having enough respect for the legends who paved the way for these dudes to be making $50-60 million a year. It's kind of similar in late night television. Johnny Carson laid the foundation. Jay Leno, David Letterman, Conan O'Brien, they took the foundation that Johnny Carson laid and they turned it into a multi-billion-dollar industry. 10 years ago, they handed this golden goose over to Stevie Colbert, Jim Fallon, and Jim Kimmel. But Uncle KC, Jim Kimmel has been hosting his show for over 20 years. Yeah, for most of those 20 years, no one was watching. In terms of television ratings, Jim Kimmel has been a consistent loser. But they handed the golden goose to this trio of huge embarrassing failures. And in the span of about 10 years, they have managed to turn the golden goose into a toxic turd. Late night programs went from generating hundreds of millions of dollars in profit to losing $40-50 million a year. Ironically enough, this trio of failures, they are making half the money and salary that their predecessors were making, but the networks, they are losing millions of dollars. Now, how did this once profitable industry become a rival to women's basketball? How did this once profitable industry start competing with women's basketball to see who could lose the most money? According to the legendary Conan O'Brien, he realized 2 years ago that late night television was on the verge of extinction. Now, he is blaming increased competition. He's blaming YouTube. To be fair, that's part of the reason, but Uncle KC believes that is a very small part. While I agree with Conan O'Brien that late night television is on life support and patiently waiting to be buried in the woke cemetery, I don't think you can place all of the blame on YouTube. Because the main reason late night is failing is the host. Make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. Link to the second channel is in the description below. Earlier today on the second channel, talked about Adam Silver finally stepping in and being the party pooper. The Atlanta Hawks, they were trying to celebrate strippers at an NBA game. Adam Silver rightfully decided that's no bueno. Some in the media are praising Adam Silver for his strong leadership. But I explain why this further proves Adam Silver is not a leader. So if you haven't already, click the link in the description below, subscribe to the second channel. Recently, Conan O'Brien was interviewed by The Hollywood Reporter. This weekend, he's hosting the Oscars or the Emmys or the Tonys, the Conans. Hell, he's hosting one of those doofus award shows that normal people won't be watching. But during the interview, they asked Conan for his thoughts on the ongoing failure of late-night television. According to Conan O'Brien, he realized that late night was in serious trouble 2 years ago after he was the guest on a YouTube show and his appearance generated over 15 million views. I knew at that point late night was in deep shit. If a guy can do World Series numbers in a studio that looked like it was built for $600, I knew at that point late night was in serious trouble. Conan O'Brien is partially right. And in fairness to Conan, I don't expect him to call out the trio of huge embarrassing failures who have destroyed this industry. Conan has never been a combative dude. Believe it or not, he was an actual comedian. I know that's hard to believe, but back then, in order to host a late night show, you didn't have to be a political pundit. You had to be funny. When I was growing up in the 90s, Conan O'Brien was my favorite late night host. Leno and Letterman, they were targeting adults while Conan targeted a younger demo. Triumph the Insult Comic Dog was a regular on the show. The Masturbating Bear, he and Andy Richter used to do a classic segment called In the Year 2000. Conan used to produce amazing segments that are far better than anything that we see on late night TV today. Conan O'Brien is right that increased competition from YouTube, it has hurt late night television. Late night is very expensive to produce. These shows have easily over 100 people on staff. Guests have to be flown in. You got to pay for their hotels, their travel accommodations. Meanwhile, someone like me can produce videos in a studio that I built myself, and it pretty much costs me nothing. But that is not the main reason for the destruction and the demise of late night. Landman on Paramount Plus, it cost $150 million per season to produce. Jim Kimmel's Late Night Dump, it cost ABC $120 million a year. Now keep in mind, you're only getting 10 episodes of Landman per year, while we're getting way too many episodes of Jim Kimmel. You don't hear Paramount complaining about production cost. Why? Because Landman is averaging 14 million viewers an episode. Hell, even on cable, Landman is averaging close to 3 million alone. The reason late night is going bankrupt, it's because they've lost 60-70% of their audience in the last 10 years. And the reason they have lost their audience is because of the host. Once Don Trump rode down that escalator in 2015, Stevie Colbert and Jim Kimmel, they became infected with an incurable case of stage 4 OMB. Orange Man Bad! Two grown men, they developed an unhealthy obsession with another dude. And initially, it worked. Same thing happened at CNN with Don Lemon and Chris Cuomo. Hey, it's me, Chrissy C. During the Trumpers' first term, Donnie and Chrissy, they were obsessed with Don Trump. CNN was drawing record high ratings. For a while, Stevie Colbert and Jim Kimmel, they were thriving. Don Trump was giving them plenty of material. But after a while, the jokes became stale. After a while, it's no longer a joke. It becomes a lecture. It becomes another form of indoctrination. For decades, late night hosts, they were trying to entertain the entire country. But over the last 10 years, and especially over the last 5 or 6 years, the trio of huge embarrassing failures hosting these dumps, they have been trying to entertain less than half the country. As a result, Normal people turned them off. Normal people found someone else to entertain them. And now it's too late. 2 months from now, CBS is getting out of the business of late night. By this time next year, ABC will be making the same decision. Unfortunately for NBC, they are stuck with Jim Fallon through 2028. Well, Uncle KC, what about Seth Meyers? You've been talking about late night and you haven't mentioned Seth Meyers. Who? Sean Squires? Is he still on TV? Last I checked, his own parents had told Sean to get off my TV. Anyway, both ABC and CBS, they are getting out of the business of late night. With NBC, it remains to be seen, but either way, the business is on the brink of extinction, and the host, they have no one to blame but themselves. Sound off in the comments below. I'll see you guys tomorrow.